Hey there, are you thinking about moving to Calgary, Alberta? Well, maybe you should just hold your horses a spell there, partner, while you hear 5 things that I think everybody should know about Calgary. Coming up right after this.
Everybody's moving here. Let the fun begin.
Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Steve Strachan. I'm a local realtor here in Calgary, Alberta with RE/MAX First, and welcome to my channel, where I talk all things real estate in Calgary and living in the Stampede City. Yeehaw! In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I think everybody should know if they're considering moving to Calgary and Alberta. But before we get underway, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, so if you don't want to miss one, hit that notification bell. I would love to hear from you. If you've got something to say or a suggestion for another video, leave me a comment below. Okay. 5 important things that everybody should know about Calgary, Alberta. Coming up, let's get going. As the old saying goes, there are only 2 certainties in life. One being death, and the second being taxes. And taxes is something that anybody considering moving to Alberta should be aware of. And one of those elements is we do not pay a provincial sales tax. Albertans pay only a 5% GST. So while our neighbors in Saskatchewan are getting hit with a 11% harmonized sales tax, or our fellow Canadians in BC and Manitoba are getting beat up with a 12% harmonized sales tax, our friends in Ontario are getting pulverized with a 13% harmonized sales tax, and mon amis in Le Belle Province in Quebec, almost 15% harmonized sales tax. Albertans, no provincial sales tax, only 5% GST is charged. So don't tell me that that doesn't put a little bit of money back in your pocket and give you a great reason to come and join us in our great province of Alberta. Another tax benefit that Albertans enjoy is we don't pay any land transfer fees. Can you believe that? When our neighbors to the west of us in BC are paying 1% for a purchase of up to $200,000 and a 2% tax on anything exceeding $200,000 all the way up to $2 million, do the math, huge savings. Albertans pay no land transfer fees. The only major difference being we need to engage a real estate lawyer to help with the transfer of title, where in other provinces they can use notaries, which are a little bit cheaper, but in the big picture, paying no land transfer fees is massive, and yet another reason to purchase property in Alberta. Having been in real estate for many years, I know that there are many moves and many purchases made because of our children, because of our kids and our families. So something that anybody considering moving to Alberta must be aware of is our education system. So our education system in Alberta is just a little bit different than those found in other provinces. We have 3 basic types of schools. First, we've got our public schools, and these are connected to communities that people live in. So based on what community you live in, your child will have a designated school that they can attend. We also have our Catholic school system, or it's also called the separate school system, where religion is part of the core subjects taught at the school, and there are criteria surrounding admittance to that school. We also have charter and private schools. Now, there's a wide variety of charter and private schools in Calgary, and they all range in focus and in mission and philosophy, and they also range drastically in cost. So we have some that are very reasonable in cost and some that are quite expensive, depending on what the focus in the school is. So I'm going to leave some links below that you can visit the Calgary Public School System, you can visit the Calgary Catholic School System, and you can see a top 10 list of private and charter schools in Calgary. Education plays a big part in everyone's life, and usually a motivating factor for some of the communities that we live in. And you'll find that in Alberta we have excellent education system. Make sure you do your research to find out which ones fit best for you and your kids. Another awesome element of living in Alberta is our health care. Up until 2009, there was a monthly fee attached to our health care. That's been done away with, and Albertans enjoy a no-fee health care system. This does not, however, include things like dentists or optometrists, prescriptions, physio, massages, that sort of thing. That's on your own dime, but general health care enjoys no fees. And this applies to all people coming from out of province or even from out of country. And unlike many provinces where there's a waiting period, the Alberta government suggests and welcomes any out of province or out of country residents moving to Alberta to apply as soon as possible so they can take advantage of our wonderful healthcare system. So number 3, we've got an awesome healthcare system in Alberta. A fourth thing that you must know before you move to Alberta is Albertans have an incredible entrepreneurial spirit. And if you're self-employed, if you are a small business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, then man oh man, Alberta is the province for you. The Alberta small business tax is by far the lowest in the country. And Alberta is known for its entrepreneurial spirit. And this is highlighted by the number of startup businesses and self-employed people, which ranks amongst the highest percentage in the country. Alberta is also known for one of the highest rates of university graduates. And in my mind, this serves as the fuel to this entrepreneurial spirit in Alberta. So if you're going to come to Alberta, know that there's plenty of opportunities, and I bet you there's one just sitting there ready for you. The list of top 5 things you need to know before moving to Alberta would really be incomplete if I did not mention our weather. You know, we have a saying here in southern Alberta and in Calgary that if you don't like the weather, just hang on a minute because it's sure to change. And a lot of that has to do with where we're situated geographically. We're nestled in the foothills, overlooking the majestic, gorgeous Rocky Mountains, and that causes a lot of unique weather and wind patterns that brings cold and warm air and the mixture of both, and we can see all 4 seasons in a 24-hour period. Sometimes it's really crazy. Now, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, but that was filmed about an hour west of Calgary in the middle of winter, and Leonardo was quoted as saying that he is experiencing global warming on a personal, first-person level. And really what Leonardo was experiencing is something that's very unique to southern Alberta, and that is called a chinook. And a chinook is a warm wind. And so this wind, this warm wind, is coming from the west coast. And it builds up at the base of the mountains, and then it makes its way over the mountains, and then it just sits in the valley, sits in the foothills. And we may be experiencing minus 30, minus 40 degree temperatures and freezing our butts off. And the next day, this chinook rolls through and the temperatures pop up to plus 10, plus 12, and everything starts to melt. And we've gone from long johns and parkas and toques and freezing our butts off to t-shirts and shorts and sitting on the patio with some friends having a cold pint or two. It's crazy, it's unique, and then the next day or a couple of days later, we're back to freezing our butts off again with long johns and toques. So it's something that you don't experience in very many other places in the world, but Calgary is unique in that sense where we have chinooks. We also have 330 plus days of sunshine in a year. So unlike our neighbors to the west, Vancouver, where it's usually very cloudy and gray through the winter, in the winters, even though it's freezing and it's cold, it's bright and it's sunny and there's gorgeous blue skies, and it just makes it a little bit easier to deal with. And we always have hope, and we pray to the Chinook gods that there'll be some warm winds blowing in and give us a little bit of a reprieve. But Living in Alberta and living in southern Alberta specifically, you get to experience this cool and unique thing called a chinook. Well, partners, that was 5 things I think you should know about before moving to Alberta. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that I have convinced you that southern Alberta and Calgary would be an excellent choice for you and your family to call home. My name's Steve Strachan. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Send me a comment or a like because I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.